I just dinged 80 on a fresh paladin and there's an Alduar looking for players tomorrow. But oh no, the message says they require 4200 gear score. Luckily, I've mastered the Gearscore formula and I know exactly how to exploit it. We'll just need to use my secret methods to pump up our gear score over 4200 in less than 10 hours of gameplay. Diving into the code, I've unlocked the secret key to Gearscore. There's actually different multipliers per item slot. The big ticket items are the weapons, the chests, the helmets, and the legs. Meanwhile, the least relevant items are jewelry and bracers. And also, there's a huge rarity penalty for items that aren't epic. That means even if we have a Abyss Blue trinket, we need to swap it to pump up our gear score. To make it easier to plan your upgrades, I've made a dynamic gear score calculator. And check out my gear score calculator sheet below the video. Okay, so we know the formula and the weights per item. We know our primary goal is to get epic items in every slot while prioritizing weapons, chests, and legs. We also know to subscribe, like the video, and click the notification bell. So what's the best way to get our gear score up fast? Starting with our fresh 80 paladin, power farming full hateful and wintergrass gear will give us a great baseline. Wintergrass must be your main priority, and don't forget the weekly quest either. I'm also adding in furious off pieces, PvP jewelry, trinkets, and a crafted weapon from the auction house. All that gear will easily net me over 4100 gear score. The best part is that the total farming time for all this PvP gear is under 16 hours. But wait, I'll explain how we can skip pieces and have our farming time coming up. With my shiny new gear score, I'll be able to run Titan Rune dungeons to replace PvP pieces with better PvE epics. My biggest priority is the daily heroic dungeon quest, which gives 5 emblems of conquest. Conquest emblems can be used to shore up weak PvP slots like your leg or your helmet. You also get emblems of valor from heroic dungeons and the daily normal dungeon quest. Save these emblems up and use them to purchase bind on pickup 213 gear. For valor, I recommend prioritizing slots like your shoulder and your back. We can also fix up slots using raw gold. There are amazing crafted boots and belts in the auction house at 232 item level. There are even raid BOEs like chests and cloaks for high rollers. Plus, don't forget the jewelry vendor. You can actually wear 2 types of 226 vendor rings for bonus gear score. Back inside my gear score calculator is a tab with all the highest item level BOEs sorted by slot. If you want to buy your way into raids, definitely check that tab out. And now let's quickly fill in our weakest slots with all the Phase 1 raids. You'll actually get 25-man loot from the 10-mans, which means 213 gear and up to 226 weapons. And don't skip out on 25s either. You'll get extra loot and the runs only take 2 hours. During your world tour, you should definitely prioritize soft reserving those 226 item level weapons. They're your most impactful slot and you can't buy them on the auction house. After your world tour, we're looking at over 4200 gear score with less than 10 hours played. I've also personally made a habit of joining Vault of Archavon runs every week. Emelon 10-man drops 213 item level gear while 25-mans drop 232 PvE and PvP pieces. Those pieces will absolutely skyrocket your gear score. I highly recommend doing the 10-mans first. The gear is way less competitive. Plus, every new upgrade will take your gear score through the roof. On my druid last week, I even got a 245 item level staff that raised my gear score by an insane 265. And once you've done your 10-mans, you should be caught up and ready to join any 25-man group you see forming in trade chat. Congratulations, but wait a minute, are you actually gearing up in your Titan Rune dungeons as efficiently as possible? And check out my Titan Rune dungeons guide next to optimize your farming.